These are the La Sportiva Skwama Vegan. As the name implies, they're a version of the Skwama that is free from animal-derived materials, but still keeps the high performance that is known from the Skwama. What you'll find on the Skwama Vegan is a microfiber upper, a 3-layer skin-like microbase, taking the place of leather, 4mm of Vibram XS Grip 2, with a unique cutout that allows for more flexibility, Sportiva's S-heel, and in fact, it's said that the Skwama Vegan has a slightly more sensitive heel cup compared to the original, a rubber toe patch, and of course, La Sportiva's P3 system. As for sizing, I size the Skwama Vegan in the same size as all my other performance climbing shoes, a size 41.5. For reference, my street shoe size is a 44, and I thought the amount that I downsized is perfect. But that's just me. Now when it comes to the fit of the Skwama Vegan, you can tell that they are performance orientated, as the Skwama Vegan uses the PD75 last. This last is used in other performance shoes like the Skwama, obviously, Solution, Solution Comp, Futura, Mantra, Mira VS, and Mira, and the Otaki. This might be a shoe that could possibly be a really good quiver killer, because I think it does everything really well. And that's pretty rare for a climbing shoe. Now, granted, I wouldn't say that a climbing shoe really defines the type of climber. I mean, I go into my gym and I see people using TC Pros on really hard routes. So you gotta take it with a grain of salt. But these shoes I've found to be more helpful, whether it be indoor climbing or outdoor climbing, and no matter what type of climb it is, whether it's a steep overhanging climb or whether it's a slab climb. These shoes, I feel like, just handle everything really well. And that's been awesome because they're also really comfortable. I keep talking to a couple people about these shoes, and the thing that always comes up is that these are probably the most comfortable high-performance shoes that I've ever used. And granted, my history with high-performing shoes is the Solution Comp and the Theories. So they're definitely not the most comfiest toe box, but the Skwama just has such a better toe box than both of those shoes, at least for me. But I am also a person who really enjoys the fit of the Katana, and the Skwama has pretty much the same fit. And that's great for me because I downsize these at my regular downsize at a 41.5 and I wear a 44. And I feel like these shoes, even though they're downsized 2.5 sizes, I feel like I could go down another half size and still use these as an all-day shoe. Like, that's how comfortable they are. I feel like when I just put them on, I just forget about them. And that's kind of what you want with a climbing shoe. So in terms of that, this shoe offers a lot of value for me just because it's so comfortable. Now, what other things does this shoe offer? Well, the model that I have right now is the Skwama Vegan, so it does use vegan materials. And at first I was kind of wondering how that was going to play into breaking them in, because it's going to be using a lot of synthetic material and like a faux leather. And I got the Theories around the same time as I got these, and the Theories broke in about 3 days. These have definitely taken a little bit longer to break in. But I do wonder if ultimately they'll last longer, because they're definitely not going to get as supple as leather does after a few days. So they might hold a little bit more stiffness than the regular pair of Skwamas. But going back to the break-in period, they were definitely a little bit harder to break in. My foot generally has a problem with this type of last, and I know that seems ironic because I was just talking about how much I love the last and how much I love the Katana last, but for my foot specifically, it does put pressure right here on my foot. And I noticed when I was trying to break these shoes in, I had a ton of pressure in that spot on my foot, and it was hurting. I mean, sometimes I could at least have the shoe on for maybe an hour, but sometimes I could only have the shoe on for like 15 minutes, and I had to take them off because they hurt so much. And it finally just got to the point where they're not hurting at all, and I can wear these for a few hours at a time. And that was interesting because I do wonder if I had the regular version of the Skwama, if they would have broken in faster, because I've always heard that the Skwama was a shoe that breaks in super fast. And it seemed like these shoes didn't break in as fast. So that might be a thing to note. If you want a shoe that's going to mold to your feet really quickly, maybe go for the leather version over the vegan version. But if you want a shoe that might hold more overall stiffness and longevity, maybe go for the vegan version. And also, too, like the vegan version looks sick. But with breaking in and looks aside, how have they performed? Well, like I mentioned, I've been using these on a variety of different types of problems, whether it be steep overhangs or slap. And I really enjoy how they perform. I mean, granted, a lot of performance is based on comfort, and these are really comfortable, but there's definitely features about the Skwama that shine. I mean, a little bit of it is how downturned that toe is. I mean, there's a lot of power that you get in that toe, and it's something that I feel is very similar to the Solution Comp. Just you feel like you're locked in to whatever hold that you're on, whether it's on a slab and you're trying to be very delicate and you're just trying to hook that toe hold, or if you're on a steep overhang and you're just trying to put all the pressure you can to stay on that hold. I feel like these shoes do that really well. And I feel like there's more stiffness in the toe than something like the Theories. Like the Skwama definitely has a stiffer toe box than a lot of other softer shoes. But at the same time, the Skwama is not just a stiff shoe. Like it's fairly flexible. And that's something that's been coming in handy for kind of modern day gym climbs. And again, this all makes sense because there's a lot of climbers who are competing with the Squamas. I mean, the whole Japanese men's climbing team is pretty much using exclusively the Skwama for bouldering and lead. So obviously this shoe has some serious performance. And on a smaller scale, I'm definitely noticing that performance, and I'm seeing why people are using this shoe because it's kind of like a jack of all trades in a way. Like this can generally handle whatever you throw at it. I mean, if you need to smear on it, it can smear. Is it going to smear the best? Probably not. There's definitely going to be shoes that are going to be better for that. But like even with this unique cutout, it does make it so you can get more surface area on the wall and you can smear kind of effectively. I mean, the toe does get in the way a little bit, but you can smear. And even the inclusion of a rubber toe cap, like this is good enough to do a bat hang off of. So when you're talking about more technical problems that require different techniques to do, the Squamas are kind of loaded with everything that you need to do them. And all this is talking about majority in the toe box, but I haven't even got to the part that I think is really good about these shoes, and it's the heel. Now, the Skwama uses Sportiva's S-heel technology, which basically gives you a very structured heel. Now, I've had experience with this heel in shoes like the Otaki, and I wasn't a huge fan of it. Now, granted, my Otakis are sized a little bit bigger than my Squamas, so I definitely can see that that's why I don't like the S-heel as much. As in this sizing, I love the S-heel. The S-heel it feels like it's cheating in ways, in the fact that you can just heel hook onto everything and you just kind of stay on and you don't have pain in your heel. And that's something that I've kind of found that I've had to really balance with a lot of my climbing shoes is sometimes the heel, it might be sensitive, but then it hurts too much to try to heel hook. Whereas using the S heel, you just are able to do it pretty pain-free. Now, granted, you do kind of sacrifice sensitivity. I know there's been a few times when I've been climbing and trying to heel hook, and I was trying to figure out where I was on the hold, and I really couldn't tell. And there's a lot of times that my foot would just pop off because I couldn't sense how much pressure was being put and where I was on the hold. So S-heel does have a little bit of a downside if it's not the most sensitive, but because it is so structured, it just feels so good to heel hook. And I love doing heel hooks. It's something that I do it in my dry tooling and I do it in my rock climbing a lot. And if I can break beta by doing a heel hook, I'm going to do it. And I feel like the Skwama just allows me to do that more efficiently and more confidently in a weird way. So overall, I've been really happy with the Skwama Vegan. and I'm a little bit curious to see if there is a durability difference between the leather version and the vegan version. But regardless, I think it's pretty impressive for La Sportiva to make a fully vegan performance shoe and for it to not really have any downsides. Like, for all practical purposes, this just is the Skwama, just with a different color scheme. And I really do think that's awesome. So I've got to give props to La Sportiva for making a great shoe that's also vegan friendly.